Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking to you about something that happened to me in practice. It happened a few months ago, and essentially why I want to tell it to you guys is because I feel like it's great to reflect upon past experiences. It's a very important part of my practice. When I go through something difficult or challenging, I really like to write it down, think how I can improve, kind of talk about what went on, and it really gives me clarity for the next time it may pop up. Another reason I want to talk about this is to kind of show that, you know, just because you become a registered midwife doesn't mean that you're perfect and you know everything. And I think a lot of people struggle with that transition of finishing third year and thinking, wow, now there's so much responsibility on me. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I want you to know that you should always be learning, you know, and just learn from your experiences. You don't have to stress that you should know it all now. So as the title suggests, this is about a time in which I found a baby blue. So when I tell this story, I want you to know that it's all de-identified. Some of the information might be changed just to keep it as confidential as possible. Obviously, I want to protect like those involved, and I really want to use this as an educational resource. So to set the scene, this happened to me on the postnatal ward while I was doing my rotation there. So every morning when I'm on postnatal ward, I was very regimented. I always went, you know, in the order of the room. So say if I was looking after room 1 to 6, I'd go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do all the checks, do all the obs, kind of get everything done so I knew where I was up to. I would always go in order. But I suppose this is a little bit of a story about a midwife's intuition as well. So I had gone 6, 5, 4, essentially doing all the checks, and then something in me, and I can't explain what it was, just told me you have to go into 1, you have to go into 1. Now there's nothing particularly odd about 1. You know, I had no concerns at handover. The woman and baby were fine. Yeah, there was nothing that outwardly would have given me that intuition to go there, but I listened to myself and I went in. So when I went into this room, it was really dark. There were grandparents in the room, the mother and the father. So I went in and I looked at the woman breastfeeding, and I thought, how is this baby breathing? Because the face was covered quite a lot. And then I wasn't sure if it was the darkness of the room, but the baby looked quite dark in colour. So I stopped talking to the woman for a minute, and I said, hold on 1 minute, let me just check baby. So I picked the baby up and tried to turn a light on, but I couldn't quite get it on. Like I couldn't turn the light on. I was kind of, it was all very surreal. So I took the baby out into the corridor where I knew there would be light, and when I got there I realized that the baby was really blue. It was completely unresponsive, had no muscle tone. So this situation was a bit tricky because I had left the room. There was no emergency buzzers straight away for me to hit, but I knew that like where the baby needed to go was the resuscitator. So I thought the best thing to do was just take the baby there and then go from there. So I go out towards the resuscitator. It's only like 5 meters away from me, and there's a midwife there at the time, and I'm like, I need help, I think this baby's blue. Again, I was still really new to practice, so I didn't know if I was overreacting, but my gut obviously told me that something was wrong. She then took the baby and started stimulating it and said, call a met call, which is like our version of like emergency call. And like in my panic, I was just like, I don't know how to do that, even though I did know and I was trained, and if I had just taken a breath, I would have been able to figure out. But luckily, a third midwife came, my gorgeous mentor and educator who I love so much. She came in, and she just has this complete calming presence, and she's just like, what's going on here, guys? And she's like, oh, okay, like, oh yeah, bring the baby over to the resuscitator. Like, she was so calm, and she's like, looks like baby just needs a little bit of help. And so we took the baby to the resuscitator and gave the baby some oxygen and the colour and some stimulation, and the colour returned straight away, and baby was fine. So when the baby was fine, we took the baby to the newborn care to be further examined, and baby was fine, good outcome, everything was great. What I really wanted to reflect upon and tell you is kind of like how you can, in those emergency situations, just freeze and lose everything, which is what happened to me. You know, you never think that you'll be like that in a situation until you get there. What I did have the privilege of is being able to reflect with my mentor afterwards and think about like what I could have done better, or even just general education on how to react in a situation like this. So if a baby comes out blue at a birth, obviously I'm concerned, but we're very much prepared for it as midwives. You know, stimulate the baby, airways, breathing, circulation, offer breaths, all that sort of thing. And for some reason I just thought this situation was completely different because it was in the postnatal ward and the baby was blue, but really I just needed to follow exactly what you would do at a birth: stimulating the baby, getting help, taking it to the resuscitator, giving oxygen, all those sort of things. Like, I knew the process in my head, but I think just because it was a situation that I didn't expect, I was kind of panicked. So upon reflection, how I've now changed my practice as such is really talked to midwives about their experiences in emergencies and kind of debrief with them and reflect with them and ask them how they reacted, what they did, why they did that, so that if a similar emergency situation happens to me, that I'm able to react. Again, I never really think you truly learn until you have to be in the situation. I studied for hours and hours neonatal resuscitation, and I'm constantly refreshing myself so that I'm aware of what to do. But I honestly think the only way to learn is when you're in that situation. You can have your basic sound, which is really important, but how you're going to react under that pressure is a different thing entirely. Another way in which I'm able to reflect and change my practice on this is educating parents. Every parent that comes through now, I tell them, make sure your baby's breathing, make sure you can feel your baby moving, feel the baby sucking on the breast, make sure baby's nose is clear because they breathe through their nose. So in that way I'm really grateful for that. Now I'm able to really emphasize this to new parents. Of course, we don't know the explanation. Sometimes babies do have what we call these dusky episodes postnatally as they're adjusting to life outside the womb, but I think the best thing is just empower the parents with knowledge to check on their baby and ensure their baby's doing all the right things. So I really hope that you were able to take something away from this situation. And if you're interested in any more of these reflections on emergency situations that I've been in, just let me know and I'll be sure to think of some, write them up and post them, because I just think they are so helpful. One of my favorite things at university was us all sharing stories from prac, and I really learnt that way. So if I can offer this to you guys, I would love to do that. I want to thank you guys for continually watching. I now have 2,000 subscribers, which honestly, when I started this, I never thought it would grow to that. I get messages from you guys every day all over the world about midwifery, and I honestly couldn't be happier. This is my absolute passion and my calling in life, and the fact that I have the privilege to work and work in the industry and share it with you guys and empower and enable the next generations of midwives is just incredible. If you guys have any suggestions for videos, again, leave them below. I go through them every time I need some inspirations. If you follow my Instagram, I do stories there, sometimes explaining my day. So if there's even like a day or a story that you would like me to post about what I'm doing, then let me know. So again, thank you guys so much for watching and letting me live out my passion. I want to encourage you all to keep going with your studies, even though sometimes it's really hard. I wish you the best of luck. Thanks guys, and see you in the next video.